Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Brummett Stadium at Griffin Field in Doniphan, Missouri, as we are underway here in the football season for the Doniphan Dons. And a new era of football has begun here, started last week as the Dons faced the Kabul Bulldogs. And this week, the Thayer Bobcats have come to Doniphan in game number 2 of this 2018 football season. This is Keith Bowman, and I'll be joined here by Dalton Pennington. And Dalton, didn't seem like it was just a couple of days ago we was here as the week flew by, and we're back here again for another game tonight for the Dons.
That's right. It seemed like to be a short week, and it rolled around pretty quick. I know the boys were practicing hard, trying to get a lot of things fixed from last week over into this week, and hopefully they got a couple things ironed out. Well,
we got off to a little rocky start. First quarter, the defense played fantastic, I thought, in the first quarter. No score at the end of the first quarter. As we talked about last week, I think the kids got a little bit tired because a lot of them are playing both sides of the ball. We're out on the field a lot, and hopefully maybe they'll get a little second wind here, and maybe Coach, maybe use a few more kids tonight to get them a little bit more rest. But the Thayer Bobcats come in here. They did lose their first game last week, but they lost to Hayti, and Hayti is always a great football team. So I'm looking for a pretty good team out here on the field against the Dons tonight.
They seem, size-wise, they seem to be a pretty big group of kids. Watching them in warm-ups, they got a couple kids that can throw. Every single one of them can run. I figure Thayer's going to have a pretty good ball club again this year.
Well, we've already had the singing of the national anthem. We're awaiting the coin toss here with the captains, and we'll find out which way each team's going, who's going to receive the ball first here just in a couple of minutes. Last week, the offense struggled. They want to run the ball, and they didn't. They weren't very successful. You did get some stats from the coach on that from last week. And actually, they ended up with a little more rushing yards than I actually thought that they did.
I agree. Looking back, just what I remembered from that game, I didn't think we did the best that I think we could at moving the football, but we actually had 116 yards of positive rushing, and we were going to be led by McGuire Balcom, number 25, picked up 38 yards on 5 attempts, and then we had Max Torres, number 5, probably their go-to back. Max Torres finished second on 8 attempts for 35 yards, which gives him a 4.4 average, and he did bust a 9-yard run in the middle of all that. Passing-wise, little to non-existent. We had a couple completions. I think we were about a 20% completion rate, and we actually lost yards passing. So
that was because of the sacks on the quarterback and things like that.
That's exactly right.
That comes off the passing yards. But they've got to be able to get the little bit of a running game going, but I think they're going to have to be able to complete a pass or two along the line here to kind of open it up, or they're just going to set on that running game, and they're going to have everybody up the line of scrimmage. So hopefully the Dons will get off to a better start running the football, and if they do, then maybe they'll be able to maybe get a couple open receivers and get it down the field a little bit.
I agree. But like you said, defensively, I think we did a great job last week. Stats-wise, we had a couple kids that had some good games. Gavin Thompson actually led the team in total tackles with 5.5. He had 5 solo tackles, and he had that assist, and he had 2 tackles for loss, followed by Hunter Roberts and Jordan White, both with 4.5. Devlin Cooper with 5, Alex Harris with 5, and Jordan White was in the backfield quite a bit because he had 2 tackles for loss. And Michael Turner, who we thought, both talking before the game, had more than the 3.5 tackles that he actually had. We felt like we called his name a lot on last Friday night, but after getting the official stats from Coach Stout, Michael is actually going to finish with 3.5 tackles, and however, 3 of those 3.5 are going to be tackles for loss. So Michael was in the backfield kind of terrorizing a little bit last week.
I think since there hadn't been any football around here in 39 years, we might want to explain something. A half a tackle means that there were 2 people making the tackle, and each one of them got a half a tackle on it, because that's some people might not really know what that meant, so might ought to throw that out there.
That can happen in a couple different ways. It can be somebody makes the first hit, and then another guy actually comes in, finishes it off, and that's going to be an assisted tackle, and those 2 guys split those tackles. And then, of course, a full point for a tackle would be you kind of do it yourself. So.
Well, as I look across the field, we got another good crowd on tonight, and Thayer brought several fans here, which is not too awful far away from here. And the stands are about full, and there's people standing on both sides like there was, and a few up on the hill. Maybe not quite as many as there were last week, but still a good crowd on hand. And hopefully, I didn't want to mention this. We kind of mentioned it last week, but the people's going to have to realize this is going to take a little while to get this thing going in a positive direction. That doesn't mean that they can't win any games, but they're just going to have to be patient with them,
right?
And stick with them and stick it out, because me and you sitting up here, we're trying to call a game, and if things aren't going good, we're still trying to make it interesting, and we're knowing firsthand how it's kind of going out there, and you've got to stay positive even if the wins doesn't come right away. Just hope that they get better each time they play.
Most definitely. We were talking last week, and the group of seniors that we have and juniors did not play 2 years of organized football. There was a gap in their playing from the time from Pee-wees to when we actually got the system put into place. They actually missed 2 years of football. So it's going to be 2 years before we've had a group of kids from start to finish have gone completely through the system and have been brought up in a football school and a football community. And it's going to take a couple years, like you said. So this sophomore class that is in right now will be our first group start to finish that we've had come all the way through.
Start out in Pee-wee and then junior high and then all the way through.
Yep.
Well, that's like I said. I mean, you have to start somewhere,
right?
And it's always, if you're just starting, it's always going to be that way. I mean, unless you don't play varsity until those sophomores or seniors, which that's going to rob them of a couple years of playing. And I think it's great that they got football back here, and people seem to be excited. And hopefully, like I said, they will be patient with the players and the coaching staff until they can get things on the right foot. And like I said, that doesn't mean they're not going to win any games, because they very well could. But I still think they got to get that running game going early if they want to have a chance here tonight.
I agree. Like you said, last week looked like we had a bigger crowd. It was the first home football game in 39 years. The final number on that was around 1,300 people packed in our little homegrown stadium here. And that's quite a few people. That's more than the city limits of Doniphan. So we had a good turnout. And like you said, the bleachers are packed, 750 is what it holds. And then we've got the hillside. We've got portable bleachers filled with groups of kids. So once again, another good turnout. Not quite what we had, but we kind of expected those numbers to kind of trail off a little bit. But we got the Dons teeing it up here at the beginning of the first quarter. And they're going to kick off to the Thayer Bobcats. And I'm going to turn it over to you to get us going.
Well, it looks like number 6 is back deep, Braden Huffstedler for Thayer. Max Torres is going to kick it off, and he kicks it down to Huffstedler about the 21-yard line. He picks it up and brings it outside the 30. And pretty good coverage by the Dons. They got about 10 yards on that return. And he kind of kicked it away where he had to run side to side a little bit to catch that ball. And that gives the Dons down there in time to make the tackle. Their quarterback is going to be Aiden Stone. He is a 6'5" senior, and I remember him from basketball. He's an awfully good basketball player, too. This was last week's Dalton. I'm not sure that they'll all be the same.
Okay.
I didn't get to talk to Coach. But Aiden Stone is the quarterback. They've got number 20. That is Dylan Poulette in the backfield, along with number 24, it looks like, Blake Metzler. And Stone goes back. He fades back to pass, throws it out on out pattern, and a little too high. And the ball goes through the receiver, number 6. That was Huffstedler's hands, a little bit high. He was open there, but the pass was high. And we got a little water down here in the ditch on this side of the field, and that ball got wet right off the bat. So that's going to make it 2nd down and 10. And that's a good start. I mean, you don't let them get any yards on that first play from scrimmage.
Right. That was pretty good coverage by Hunter Roberts until he ran that little comeback and split out about at the 40-yard line and came back.
Going to run the same play again, and this time it's caught and getting outside the 45 across the 50. That is the same exact play that they ran, and they ran it again, I think, because he was open that first time.
Right.
And he actually had better coverage on that time, but the pass was down where he could catch it. And that was Huffstedler. And a good pass from Stone, so he's 1 for 2, and that was about a 20-yard gain to the Dons' 49-yard line.
And
so
that
that'll
tackle
be the
was made by
down.
number 6, Devlin Cooper. They'll
line it up at the Dons' 49-yard line, 1st and 10, just underway. We've had 2 passing plays. Now he hands it off in the backfield, a big hole for number 20, and he gets outside, and he's going to go outside the Dons defense. A big hole. He took it up the middle and then cut it to the outside. And in 3 plays, Thayer's in the end zone. So after the good play on the first play, the next 2 plays are very productive, and Thayer gets in the end zone, and they take a 6-0 lead. That was number 20 again, Dylan Poulette, a 5'8", 170-pound senior. And he kind of had a little speed there once he got into the Dons backfield.
Yep, he took that ball right up the middle and then cut to the outside, and he was gone.
Well, Blake Metzler is going to attempt the extra point. Ball down, kick is up, and boy, that looked like that split the uprights. And it did, and it's 7-0. Only 27 seconds on that drive for Thayer. So the Dons fall behind early here. I don't know about you, Dalton, but I think when they get this ball here, it would be good if they consume some time on the offense here. And it looks like that might be a pretty high-powered offense there for Thayer. You want to keep them off the field as much as you can. Best way to do that's run the football.
Most definitely. Last week when we played Kabul kind of had the kind of same approach that the Dons did. It was run it until you get 3rd and 5, 6, 7, whatever you had, and then Kabul would look for a little short pass to try to pick up that first down. But it looks like Thayer's going to mix it up, and they're not going to have a problem throwing on first down, second down, running it whenever. So this may be pretty interesting, see what kind of offense Thayer has.
You don't see a whole lot of high school teams throw it on the first 2 downs,
No.
But that's what happened. And let's see, we're going to have Trey Mills back deep for the Dons to receive this kickoff. And Metzler, I believe, is going to be kicking off. He's the one that just kicked the extra point. And Mills is going to be back about the 10-yard line. Metzler will be kicking it. That's Meisler. I'm sorry, I thought that was a T. I don't have my glasses on. That's Meisler. He kicks it deep, and Mills drops it. Now he has to picks it up and fumbles it again, and well, I think he fell on it, but that was very dangerous there.
That was. I think you're right. Best thing you can do on a kickoff like that, if that ball doesn't come clean, the best thing you can do is just fall on it. Because as soon as Trey picked that up off the ground, he fumbled it right back, and that could have been costly for the Dons.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan White's going to come out and start as quarterback. He started last week. We'll try to get you all the linemen and things as we go here, try to do a little better job of that. Hopefully you'll bear with us because Dalton and I both are basically doing our first football
right
play-by-play and analyzing. And hand off, and we're going to have illegal procedure against the Dons. I think that Max Torres took off towards the line before the ball was hiked, and he was in motion, and I think he started one step towards the line too quick. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty on the Dons, and that's not the way you wanted to start it if you want to try to run the football, because that's going to be 1st and 15 now from the about the 24-yard line. They're going to have to get out to the 39 for a first down. See, Tristan Gettings is at center, excuse me. A handoff to Torres, and he gets stacked up and gets about a yard or so.
Number 5, Torres, the ball.
And you could tell that they were expecting to run there, that's for sure, because they ganged up on him.
Looks like we're going to have the same type of offense coming in like we did last week. Caitlin Harris rotating in and out with Devlin Cooper, bringing the play call in each time they come.
Well, we got Eli Burke and Michael Turner and Tristan Gettings on the line. We'll get the other 2 here in just a minute. And number 30, Alex Harris in the backfield. Torres in motion again. White back to pass, throws it out in the middle, and it's intercepted. And that is number 5, and he's going to run it back in for a touchdown. And that is Jace Haven. And it looked like White just threw that up. It didn't look like there wasn't no receiver there. There was one down behind him, but it was poorly or very badly underthrown. So we haven't played 2 minutes yet. Thayer's going to be up 14-0 if they kick this extra point.
Right.
Meisler will try it again. I like the idea of throwing the ball, but it looked like to me he had a big tall guy coming in on him. He just reared back and threw it. And that one is good. And that makes it 14-0. So Meisler with a couple extra points, an interception run back for a touchdown, and also a run by, have a hard time keeping up with these names, Dylan Poulette. And Thayer has jumped out early, 14-0. And Meisler going to be kicking off for the second time in the first minute and 25 seconds, and they didn't receive, and they received the opening kickoff. Now White, he is, he's not very tall. They don't have the heights on theirs, but he's not very tall. And one of those big linemen come running in there on him, and he just, his hands was up, and he did barely got it over his hand. He might have been better off if he would have tipped it, because he might have just knocked it down. But
and once
anyway,
again, we're kind of seeing some of the same problems we saw last week. I got those guys getting in the backfield way too quick. Dons have to do a better job of closing up those gaps and keep their Bobcats out of our backfield.
Well, the first thing, the penalty hurt right off the bat.
Most
That
definitely.
put him in a big hole. Kick deep, and Mills comes up on it and hits him in the foot, bounces over to the side, picks it up again, and it is jarred away. And the fumble, and I think it's going to belong to Thayer. And he tried to do the same thing again. Didn't they recover it? No? Did the Dons get it?
Nope. Looks like Thayer's going to go ahead and have possession of that. That was a shot given to Trey Mills right there.
But he done the same thing again.
Most
He
definitely.
tried to pick it up instead of just falling on it like you said a while ago.
Yep.
He's going to have to scoot up just a little bit because both those kicks have just been short of where he was standing. So 2 turnovers.
They're going to give it to him. They're going to say he was down
Ooh,
before the ball came back
I think Dons
out.
might have got a break there.
I agree. I think they did catch a break there, but that was a shot given to Trey right there.
I was trying to see who the other 2 offensive linemen are. I think one of them is Derek Bratchler and Michael Turner, I think. White sprints out to the left, and he's going to be stacked up behind the line of scrimmage, and they're not getting any blocking out of that offensive line and the tight end at all. He's going to lose about 3 yards, actually about 4.
4, yep.
It'll be 2nd and 14, and the Dons need to get a positive play here just to get their spirits up a little bit. That's a tough way to start the game. You stop the very first play of the game, make a good defensive play, and then bam, bam, and you're down 14-0. White under center. Goes back, hands it off to Thompson, and he gets a pretty good gain. Well, he's only going to end up getting about 2, isn't he?
Well, no, keep in mind we had a loss of 4,
that's right.
so that's going to be a bad of a gain. It's about 6 or 7 there.
5 or 6
Right.
yards. That's going to make it about 3rd down and about 8.5 yards. But that was a positive play.
Headed in the right direction.
We're just underway. It's 14-0 already. Thayer with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Don's looking at a 3rd and 8. White under center. Takes a snap. Flips it back to Max Torres trying to get outside. And he makes a good move, but he doesn't quite get to the first down marker. But again, another positive play as he picked up about 5 yards on that play.
About 4 or 5 yards, yeah.
And
he broke a tackle to do it, too, so that's
Yes,
a good
he did.
sign. That's a good sign. He got that first defender, got him shook loose, kind of cut back up, and that second defender that was right there forced him to cut back inside. And, of course, there was another Thayer player there, but you like to see that he broke that first tackle, picked up some yards after contact.
well, they thought it looked like they were going to go for it for a minute, and I thought, boy, not in your own territory here, so they decided to punt. And a bad snap over the punter's head, and he's going to have to fall on it. And I guess that's a turnover. I guess you call that a turnover.
Yep, it's going to be turnovers on
And-
downs, but that's going to put it all the way back on the 10-yard line. For a Thayer Bobcat team, it's not having any problems whatsoever moving the ball.
I don't know about you, but I don't have a number 46 on this for Don's in this here. I don't know if there's one in the program or not, but Kyle Reynolds.
Kyle Reynolds, he was the new addition. He actually he joined the team a little bit late, and he had to sit out week 1 because he's
okay.
required to have I think it's 12 days of contact and practice before. So he didn't quite have his 12 days in last week, but after this week of practice, he picked those up.
So we have played about 3.5 minutes, and Thayer looking to get their 3rd touchdown already, and Stone's going to do the quarterback keeper, and he gets a pretty big hole. The Dons close it up, but he's going to get down to about the 4-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 4 for Thayer, looking for their 3rd touchdown here early in the game.
And that tackle was made by number 30, Alex Harris. That's Harris's first tackle on the night.
Logan Doss in the backfield, and also Meisler. He gets the handoff. He's going to take it down, and he's going to cross the goal line, and that is going to put Thayer up 20-0. And there wasn't much of a hole there, but he didn't have to go very far to get in, and he snuck in from 4 yards out. Last week the Dons played very good defense in the first quarter, but I can already see this is definitely a better offensive team than what they faced last week. There's no doubt about it.
Most definitely.
And we did say that Thayer lost their game last week, but they were playing. This extra point is wide right, no good. Played the Hayti Indians, and Hayti's always got a good team. I don't know what the score was, but I was speaking with their radio announcer, and he said that they had 5 turnovers in the game. So
I was watching that game on Twitter as we were calling this game. I was kind of following through, keeping up with it, and I'm not exactly sure on the final, but at one point when I looked at it, it was 50-40.
Wow.
Hayti and Thayer, so putting up 90 combined points. I'm not exactly sure that those numbers, obviously probably not 50 and 40, but that's what they were both in, so over 90 points for sure.
Much defense played in that game, was there?
No, so they are going to be able to have this kind of offense moving the ball up and down the field. They're not going to have much problem, I don't think.
Well, with this early lead, we'll see how long that their coach, Billy Weber, will stick with his first-team offense too,
Right.
There may be times later on in the season you might need a backup quarterback or, different defense or offensive linemen or things like that too. So, and this time we've got
Nolan Zerwanka, number 45, back to receive.
And Mills goes over to the right side, one of the up men deep. And I think Zerwanka is standing about 5 yards closer than Mills was. The kick is going to be back, and it's going to be fielded by Zerwanka about the 18. Cuts back to the middle of the field, and he's going to get up to about the 30-yard line, and he does a good job there dragging about 3 or 4 tacklers for a couple of 3 yards extra. So the Dons have decent field position this time. They just need to figure out a way to block somebody and open up some holes for those running backs.
Most definitely. Nolan did a great job there, kept driving his feet. He got hit by one Thayer defender and kept pushing, and then 2 or 3 more, and he kind of pushed that pile a little bit further. So the Dons are doing some things right. So let's just hope that maybe we can get the ball rolling.
It was about a 13-yard return because they ended up marking it at the 31-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the Dons 31, already trailing 20-0 with 7:40 left in the first quarter. White hands it off. Max Torres with a nice hole, and he's going to get out close to a first down. A good positive gain there. And Max running hard there. That's about like the same play they ran the last series. And they're going to give them a first down, so the Dons will get their first down of the game. Right at a 10-yard gain.
That gives Torres 15 yards rushing on the night. I'm going to try to do a little bit better job of keeping stats.
We'll get better at it as we go.
Most definitely. So
I was going to start keeping first downs, and I already messed up. I'm not even going to mess with it. White hands it off this time to Mills, and he fights for about a yard or 2. And he is gang tackled there by the green and white of the Thayer Bobcats.
Carrier for Doniphan. And a host of Bobcats making the tackle.
Our PA announcer said a host of Bobcats made the tackle. That is a 1-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd down and 9. Dons have to get just across the 50-yard line, almost to the 49 of Thayer, to pick up another first down. But they did get their first down of the game on the play before last.
Got 5 seconds left on the play clock. Let's see if the
They
Dons
get it off.
They
White
do.
hands it off right up the middle and bulling his way up there. I'm not sure. Was that Harris? As they
Had
unpile
a little
here,
bit of
we'll get it.
misdirection. I'm not sure who came away with that one.
Was that Reynolds?
That would be number 46 Reynolds, yep.
That was a nice gain there. He got almost, well, I guess he got 4 yards on that play. They didn't give him a very good spot there, but he carried a bunch of tacklers with him. So it's going to be 3rd and 5, and the Dons need to get a first down to keep this drive going. White hands it off. Max Torres gets outside. Oh, a nice tackle there by number 5, Jace Haven, and it looked like he was for sure going to get the first down.
Torres, he had a hole if he could have beat the defender on the outside. Comes across there, makes a great tackle.
He actually had a whole lot of running room if he could have got around him.
Yes, he did.
Looks like the Dons are going to go for it here, down 20-0. Really nothing to lose here.
Nothing to lose here. Ball's on the 50. You know,
they need about 2 yards for a first down.
They got Reynolds back again.
And they hand it to him right up the gut, and he's going to get the first down. And again, they have a hard time bringing him down. He fumbled it, but I think they'd already blowed the play dead. And that's going to give the Dons their second first down. And he got down to about the 48-yard line. Got an extra yard, so the Dons got a nice little drive going here. Yeah, got a timeout on the field. I'm not sure who called it, but we had a hard time last week.
Yeah.
It ain't like basketball. They point to who calls it, you know. Actually, they do in college. And pros, they point, you know, which way it is, and I didn't see them do that. So after a kind of a bad start on offense here, the Dons got it going a little bit. Hopefully they'll be able to take this down and get some points out of this.
Back-to-back first downs for the Dons. Kyle Reynolds picks up 7 yards on the drive. And really, you kind of like to think what he could have helped them do last week against Kabul, because he seems like the guy we're just going to go straight up the middle with and let him see how many guys he can drag to a first down.
Yeah, because Thayer's got some pretty good-sized guys on that defensive line, and Kabul didn't have very many big guys on that defensive line.
No, they did not.
They did fly to the ball, a bunch of them, and gang tackle, but I guess number 59 coming out there, he's a big guy now.
Right.
So it'll be first down for the Dons on the Thayer 48-yard line. They trail 20-0. We've got 5:04 left in the first quarter. And Gettings gets down over the ball. White behind him. And the Dons, I think, an illegal procedure penalty again, as the offensive line, it looked like a couple or 3 of them jumped there. He's stomping his foot to get so the guy will know when to go into motion, whoever it is. And I think when he stomped his foot that time, that's when the offensive line took off. So another big penalty here on first down. That happened on the first drive, and then it kind of put them in a hole. And when you're trying to run the ball for first downs, that 1st and 10 is a lot easier than 1st and 15.
Right, you said it. The Dons' philosophy is going to be chip it away 2 or 3 yards at a time. And when you put yourself in a hole 5 yards, those 2 and 3 needs to turn into 4 and 5s then. It's a lot harder to do.
Torres gets a handoff, and he's still on his feet. And a nice run as he gets about 4 yards of that back. And they never did get him all the way to the ground as they run him all the way over to the sideline. He kept them feet moving like a running back's supposed to. And in this drive here, the Dons are running the ball pretty well.
I think they're going to spot it. They're going to spot it a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage, so that's going to be a gain of 4 then.
That'll make it 2nd and 11. Yeah, you were talking a while ago, if it's 1st and 10, you got to average 3 and a third yards a carry. If it's 1st and 15, you got to average 5. That's a lot of difference. Handoff inside and no gain for Trey Mills as Thayer stacked that one up pretty quickly. Now we're guard on that.
Yeah, I didn't get a very good spot there. I thought he got back to the line of scrimmage, but they're going to say came about a yard shy.
Well, the sun going down has finally cooled down a little bit. It's kind of warm here when we first got here. White in the shotgun, fades back to the pass, throws it and intercepted again. He threw it behind. And another one run back, and it's going to be run back for a touchdown as well. I think that was Thompson he was throwing to. He was wide open, but the pass was behind him, and he had no chance of even knocking it down.
No.
So promising start to a drive there, ends up in points for the Thayer Bobcats. And they are laying it on here in the first quarter. 26-0. We still got 3:26 left in the quarter.
We may have a reverse of last week. It seemed like our defense was always on the field last week, and
that's right.
Now it's going to be our offense because they're scoring on, 2 turnovers and then on 3 plays total for them. So
Meisler's extra point is no good. It's
wide left. Yep.
So he made the first 2, and now he's missed the last 2. Well, the score will remain 26-0. And we're going to look for positive signs here. And in that drive, the Dons ran the ball pretty well. But when they got themselves in the hole, that penalty pushed them back just like it did in the first one. And the first drive, and that got them in trouble because they might not have had to pass on that last down there. And their passing game is just not, where it needs to be. The running game's not where it needs to be either, but it's looking a lot better than it did last week.
Most definitely. On that drive alone, Max Torres picked up 16 yards. Kyle Reynolds had 7. And, so the Dons aren't, they're moving the ball up the middle, and that's Coach Stout's philosophy. We're gonna run the ball a lot. We're going to run a little bit of misdirection in the backfield, and we're going to try to beat you that way. And so the fact that the running game is improving is a really good sign for the Dons.
Back to receive for Doniphan, number 45.
Meisler to tee it up and kick off again here with 3:26 left in the first quarter.
Metzler picking for Thayer.
Maybe that is a T. Is that a T or an I on his name? Kickoff is picked up by
Zerwanka, number 45.
And he is stacked up about the 30-yard line or so.
I think that's Miser, Blake Miser.
Meisler?
Miser. M-E-I-Z-E-R,
okay.
I believe.
Okay. I couldn't tell if I got my glasses right there, but I don't really need them if I'm not writing anything down.
Right.
When I do basketball, I need them. Then bifocals will get you on your glasses when you write down something and you look back up. If you look up too far, you're just out there. The players are a blur on the field. Or on the court, I mean. All right, well, let's see if we can maybe get a little farther down the field this time. Get a couple more first downs. We had 2 that last drive. White hands it off, and they're trying to run it inside and staying on his feet pretty well.
That was Trey Mills. I think they're going to just get back to the line there.
Yeah, they had him for a couple yard loss there, but he kept it going. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
During that play, number 52, Derek Bratchler's helmet came off. And the rule for high school, if that helmet comes off in the play, he can't just throw it back on and keep playing. He's actually got to come out to the sideline, put that on, make sure everything's working right, and then he can go back in. So we'll probably see Bratchler come right back out after he gets his helmet snapped back on. Dons have to get it off 2 seconds.
Oh, a fumble
in the backfield.
And another turnover. And that was a bad exchange between White and Max Torres, I think. And Torres, I don't know if he was a little too far past him or White didn't get back there fast enough. But that is 3 turnovers already here in the first quarter.
We've got 2 interceptions on 2 passing plays. And then right there.
And then the muff punt, too.
Most definitely, yep.
So if the Dons could have been punting all those times, they might not have all those points on the board right now. They still got Stone in there with 2:27 to go in the first quarter. And they will take over at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Stone hands it off in the backfield. Big hole, and they blow the play dead first. And, offside. They must have touched somebody, got him come across and touched it. They wouldn't have blown the whistle, huh? Because offsides, they don't do it unless you come across and touch the player, right?
Correct.
Even if you jump in the neutral zone, if you get back in time.
You get back before that ball snapped.
The call is offsides.
And he might not have gotten back because they're going to call that offside. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
Well, that's That was a good penalty that time because that was another touchdown.
Yeah.
Their blocking up front has got to be fantastic because they're getting some big holes to run through.
That offensive line for Thayer is huge.
Another handoff up the middle, and that's going to be number 30.
Alex Harris. That's going to be his second tackle.
And number 30, Logan Doss, carried the ball.
Number 30, Alex Harris.
He got down to the 21. So that was about a, about a 2-yard gain. So they like about 3 yards for a first down. And it's 2nd down and 3. Clock running with about 1:50 to go in the first quarter. They're leading 26-0. Do a lot for the Dons' morale here if they could get a stop. Clock about to run out, and Aiden Stone fumbles. Oh, that pitch was almost intercepted, and they end up getting it down to about the 7-yard line. Number 51, wasn't it? 51 for the Dons. Is that?
Number 12, Hunter Roberts, is the one who I had making that tackle.
Was that who it was?
Yeah, and our PA guy here at the stadium agreed. That's going to be Hunter Roberts' first tackle. He last week finished with, let's see how many he had last week. 4.5. So he had a pretty good game last week as well, but that's his first tackle of the night.
Well, what I was talking about when he fumbled the snap
definitely.
there, the pitch, one of the linemen almost intercepted that pitch. Of course, I don't know if he could have run it back without getting caught, but he had a wide open field. They run it up the middle there, and still on his feet down to about the 5-yard line.
That looked like a group effort on the tackle there. I'm not sure who they're going to give that to. Last one up was number 76, but I'm not sure if he got there.
Meisler was the ball carrier, and he got about 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Stone comes over near the Thayer bench to get the play from the coach. Trots back out on the field, and he is set up under center every time. They have not had a shotgun even on their pass play. A pitch back, and going in untouched will be Meisler. And that looked like the Red Sea opened up there. I mean, that was just fantastic blocking. And the Dons, I mean, I know they are playing a better offensive team, but they don't look like the same defensive team that played in the first quarter last week.
Right.
I mean, even though Thayer may be much better on offense, they just don't look like, well, it's awful easy to get discouraged when you get down that much in the first quarter, I know. Meisler puts that one through, I think. He just barely crossed the goal post. And that makes it 33-0, and we still got 54 seconds to play in the first quarter. And we're seeing that offense that you talked about that they had in their game last week with Hayti firsthand here tonight.
Yeah. I'll see if I can't find an official score from that game last week since we've talked about it.
And we got Zerwanka back deep again, and this is getting to be monotonous here, them kicking off here in this first quarter.
Back to receive for Doniphan, 45. Zerwanka.
And Meisler will tee it up one more time.
Bobcats, number 24, Metzler.
Zerwanka's back about the 17-yard line for the Dons. Mills and balk them up a little closer in case the kick's a little shorter. Meisler's got those kicks down there pretty good. This one, Zerwanka catches while he's on the run. Cuts back up the middle, and he lost his footing there, and he slipped down. I don't know how much farther he was going to get, but again, the Dons starting out with pretty good field position at the 35-yard line. Let's see if we can get a positive gain and no penalty on the first play here and make it a little easier to go for that first down. Either penalties or negative plays on first down has hurt them. The one time that they didn't do that, they got a couple of first downs. Looks like Balkum is in there right behind White. Going to hand it off, and Max Torres tripped over the 30-yard line, I think.
Yep.
He lost his footing there, and he's going to be, there's that negative play again, 5-yard loss. So it will be 2nd and 15, and we've said that too many times here in the first quarter. Got time for probably about one more play, unless it's a pass play and incomplete here in the first quarter.
And Coach Stout, I don't know, he may, nope, looks like they're going to go for it. I don't know if he's going to let that time run out because the clock was going
they're
before
about
the play
even,
clock.
aren't they?
Right, yep. But it looks like they're going to try to get one more play off.
Jordan White.
He's pointing at the scoreboard. I think he's just going to let it run out here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, he's got about 1 second difference, so
Yep.
they're going to let it run out here at the end of the first quarter. So that will be the end of quarter number 1. They'll switch ends of the field, and the Dons will have it. Actually, they marked that as
the first quarter was 17 yards total. He had that fumble and, of course, that run right there at the beginning of this drive for a loss of 4. So he was at 21 yards, and then a loss of 4 puts him at 17. Gavin Thompson is right behind him, 6 yards. Trey Mills has gained on 2 carries, 1 yard. And Kyle Reynolds, who I'd personally like to see get some more touches, 7 yards on 2 carries. So Kyle's probably got the best average. I'd have to do the math on that, but Kyle's probably, that's 3.5 yards for Kyle. So I'd kind of like to see him get some more touches.
So they had about 25, 30 yards rushing in that first quarter.
Right. And then
that's net. That's net. They had actually had more than that, but they lost yardage plays, which they had a few good runs. It's just the negative ones are the ones that's really hurting. So that's something they have to work on, get it ironed out. I mean, I know they're playing a really good team here tonight, but hey, they're all going to be good when you're playing your first year of football, like this. And with even the seniors are young as far as football experience is going. Well, we'll see what Coach Stout drawed up here with a 2nd and 14 to start the second quarter for the Dons.
And for those of you that are following along that don't know a lot about football, at the end of the first quarter and at the end of each quarter, I guess you would say, they are going to switch both sides of the field. Teams flip-flop. So the Dons are headed the other way. Oh, a little misdirection in the backfield is going to be fumbled, and that's going to be a huge loss. About 6 or 7 yards there on that one play. Had a little misdirection, looked like a kind of a little reverse coming around the end.
Double handoff there, reverse.
And that's going to be a big loss there.
That's a shame, too, because there was some wide open field on this side. That second guy's got to make sure that if he pitches it, that he's got to have it a little bit out in front of him where he can catch it in stride. And so that is going to make it. That's all the way back at the 25. So that's going to be 3rd down and 20.
Dons need to hurry. Only 6 seconds left on the play clock. Not everybody's even in position yet. Got it down to 2.
They do get it off. Well, coach called timeout. I think he called a timeout, which they got it off in time. And I think we had a different quarterback in there, too, for that play. Or at least somebody lined up different at quarterback. I'm not sure because Jordan White was out over here on the left side. So they were about to almost let the clock run down. I think the play would have been gotten off in time, but coach wanted to make sure. I actually think Coach Mays was the one that got down there and called that timeout. I think he was the one down there by the official.
I'm going to see if he can't pick up a big gainer here. I see what happens, see who he sends out there.
No, I think Jordan White's back there now. I'm almost sure that he wasn't back there a while ago. I think he was split out here wide left. He is in the shotgun. He rolls out to the left, throws it, pass is complete, and it's going to be a short gain for Max Torres, and about 4 players from Thayer there making the tackle. Number 64, I think, was the first one there. That is Chase Cates. And that was a positive play, but not near enough. It's going to be 4th down and 15 from the 30-yard line. And it looks like we got Reynolds back punting. He was number 46, right?
That's correct.
Back to punt for the Dons. And Thayer, one player short on the field. Number 30 runs out there. Logan Doss. This time a good snap and a pretty good kick. Ball's going to bounce at the 48-yard line, and it's picked up by Thayer. That was kind of a dangerous play there, running with his back to where the ball came from, but he got away with it. And he's going to be down at the 46-yard line, so no return. That would have been a 24-yard punt with no return, which I think in high school you can live with that if there's no return on it, especially when you're first starting out and these kids, a lot of them are punting for the first time, and he was getting rushed there. The 3 guys blocking for him did a good job keeping him off of him.
And that tackle right there at the end of that play was picked up by Devlin Cooper. That's going to be his 2nd tackle tonight. Tied with the lead with Alex Harris, who also has 2. And I'm not going to be able to keep track of the half and full, so I'm just trying to get who first contact is who I'm going to give it to tonight.
Drop back to pass. Stone hits his receiver on a couple of spin moves, and that is number 5. That is Jace Haven. And a couple of spin moves there, 360 moves, and he gets the ball all the way down to the 32-yard line. So that will be about a 22-yard gain. And the Dons missed a couple of tackles. Now, he did make a couple nice moves, but they probably should have brought him down. He shouldn't even have had a first down by all rights. Stone, big old tall boy, 6'5", and he's an excellent basketball player too. Hands off. Nope, fakes the hands off, keeps it himself. Going to run around the left side. And too big of holes being opened up. And that's going to be the 32-yard touchdown run for Aiden Stone, the quarterback.
Stone, the quarterback, keeps the ball. Touchdown.
And they're looking to make it 40-0. They've already got their 40 points that they had. You said they had when you were watching, keeping up with their game last week.
Right.
And I don't think that was in the second quarter, was it?
No.
And they fake it.
They're going to go for the 2
go for 2. The throw too far out in front. Good defense there by, let's see, that is Gavin Thompson, as he kept the receiver from catching the 2-point conversion. So it stays 39-0.
That's kind of
52 to go.
Kind of curious to me. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but up 39, you're going to go for a 2-point conversion. Of course, it's still in the first half, so they are trying to work on some things.
Well, that's probably why they were doing it.
Right.
I mean, that may be something they need to do later on in the year.
Yeah, most definitely. And they did line up like it was a field goal, and then had the little rollout from his placeholder there. And he rolled out to the right side. And
Gavin Thompson did a really good job of not taking the bait that they were going to kick it. He stayed right with that guy.
There was some very good coverage there by Thompson. I agree. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
So we are looking for positives, and that was one right there.
Most definitely.
Most of the time when they line up to kick, you think they're going to kick it. And Meisler's getting the work out of that leg. They may have to switch kickers here after a while. And we got Nolan Zerwalka back again. He's had a couple pretty good returns. He's a big guy, and it's going to be kicked over towards the sideline. It's maybe go out of bounds. Did it go out? I guess it didn't go out, huh?
No.
Oh, goodness.
Which is.
Well, I tell you what, he better. Oh, now they're going to throw the flag.
Yeah, there
I think the referee or whatever, the back judge or whatever he is, forgot that if it's kicked out of bounds, it's a penalty.
Right.
I thought that ball went over the line. It's hard to see on the opposite side of the field, but I was wondering why Zerwalka didn't pick it up, because that's a live ball if he don't pick it up on a kickoff. If he just stood there and it was in play, they could have picked it up and run it in for a touchdown. That's what made me think it was kicked out of bounds. I think they spot that. Did they spot that at the 35 last week or the 40? I can't remember.
I believe it was at the 35. Thayer's backing up to the 40, so it might come out to the 40. But for some reason, I was thinking it wasn't 35.
Ball is going to be placed on the 35-yard
Yeah,
line.
okay, it is. That's what I thought. 35-yard line.
Nope. 35. No, keep going. Keep going.
Now they do place it at the 40.
Ball at the 40-yard
They
line.
stepped that off from the 35. Why did he do that? I thought it was just automatic when
I
it goes
don't
out of
know.
bounds. That's where you put it. Maybe it's 5 yards from the 35. I don't know. Well, the Dons start in their best field position. And Thayer is up on that line of scrimmage looking for the run. Torres gets a handoff, and he's going to run it out to about the 43, 44-yard line, and we got a flag coming in from behind. And I don't know if that's going to be a block in the back on the Dons or maybe might be a face mask. Nope, I think they're pointing at the Dons. I don't know. The illegal block in the back, wasn't it?
Yep.
So here we go again. Get a positive play, and they're going to be pushed back. What sure is taking these officials? Same way last week. They weren't real crisp out there. And they still have not moved the ball from where the ball was forward progress went back on the penalty. I think they're trying to figure out where the block was there, but the ball never made it that far. So I would have thought it would have been from where the ball was, the runner got to.
And then he picks it up and moves it in the wrong direction for the Dons. He moves it closer to their first down marker instead of going the other way.
Well, I want to tell you something. I think the Dons got another break there because the ball carrier only got to the 44-yard line. So they just move it back about 2 or 3 yards behind the original markers. So another handoff up the middle. Nice move there and good running. Is that Zerwalka again?
No, I think that was number 5, Max Torres.
Oh, okay.
Let's see who hops up here. I'm almost positive that's who it was. Yeah, it was Torres.
No, it's 45.
Oh, no, it was going to be Zerwanka then.
I'll tell you what, he showed some tough running there. He that one guy hit him, he just bounced off of him and kept going.
4 yards to go.
That was about almost a 10-yard gain there. And that gets him back in decent shape here. And it'll be 2nd and 3. White hands it to Torres, and the ball knocked out of his hands, but I think he falls right down on top of it.
I think his lineman did more of the tackling there than anything. He squares up and runs right into the back of his own lineman. And that their defender rolls around and just kind of wraps him up. Ball comes out, but like you said, Torres does fall right down on top of it.
They spot it right right at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd down and 3. Got 8.5 minutes left in the first half. Jordan White takes a snap, hands it off to Gavin Thompson, and he's going to be about a yard short of the first down. And I'm sure Coach Stout probably going to go for this because he went for it on the other side of the field about the same yard marker. And this is only going to be 4th and 1. They're going to bring Zerwalka back in.
Well, if it's 46, that's Kyle Reynolds, and that's exactly the comment I was just getting ready to make. I'd like to see him bust it right up the middle here.
I believe that is 46.
That is Kyle Reynolds. He's got the arm sleeve on the left arm.
They hand it to him, and he gets the first down. Gets it down to about the 47-yard line of the Bobcats. So that is the second time the Dons went for it on 4th down and converted the first down.
Correct. Was that about a gain of 5 there? Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, 4. He was on the 49.
Okay.
He got to the 47.
That puts Reynolds at 11 yards and 3 carries. We talk about the Dons are wanting to chip away. You said 3 1/3 yards per play, and that's going to keep them rolling all night long. Well,
that's about where he's at.
Reynolds is 4 and 3 and 4. So
Well, he's a bull out there.
Yes,
They
he
no doubt
is.
him and Zerwanka both are. White pitches it back. And it's going to be Zerwanka. He's going to take it outside and
Broke loose of one tackle there.
wrapped up for about a 2-yard gain. And at least it's a positive play. No negative play on that one, no
Yes,
flags.
Yes.
Positive yards.
Zerwanka's sitting on 11 yards total rushing on the night.
6 minutes, 50 seconds left in the first half. It really would be nice if Dons could just hang on to the ball here for a little bit and get down there and get a score before halftime. Take a little enthusiasm and confidence into the locker room. White, and another penalty. Going to move them back again. Oh, they're going to say offsides this time. Official on the other side said offsides.
So got a break going the Don's way.
Offsides.
I think that's the first penalty on Thayer that I remember.
Penalty.
I think you're right.
So they're pretty disciplined out there.
Yes.
So that's going to move the Dons within about 3 yards of the first down, 2nd and 3.
We got Harris in the backfield. He's also a bull. He had some good runs last week. Let's see what happens here.
Hand off to Gavin Thompson. Bounces off one guy. Going to pick up about a yard. Seemed like to me when you got a 2nd and 3, you'd want those big bulls in there and hand it to him. And Thompson is a really smaller guy. They're going to bring Reynolds back in. And Max Torres is going to come back in. And really no gain on that play. Still about 3 yards for the first down, but it's 3rd down now. You run it straight up the middle. If you don't get it, run it straight up the middle again. Huh?
Right.
They hand it off, and they're going to get the first down. And Reynolds breaking tackles all the way down to the 30-yard line. It's going to be about a 10 or 11-yard gain. And what was Reynolds' first name?
Kyle.
Kyle.
He actually, like I was saying earlier, if you're just kind of tuning into us here, Kyle didn't originally try out. Wasn't going to play football. Was going to start working this year. And had some conversations with him. Some other people in the community had some conversations with him. Hey, really want to see you come out. Really want to see you come out. And so he comes out about the second or third week of practices, and he's just got eligible this week because he has to record so many practices before he's able to play in his first game.
Well, he's off to a pretty good start. Another first down for the Dons. They're about the 30-yard line of Thayer. Handed off to Max Torres, trying to get out to the outside and doesn't get there, and he's going to be tackled back at about the 31, 32-yard line. A little bit of a loss there, about a yard or so. They've had more success running up the middle than they have outside. Thayer's defensive backs and linebackers are quick, and they're getting out there making those tackles.
They're going to call a water break here. I talked to Coach Stout about that the other day. Forgot to mention that they are, with it being so hot in the summer, they do make the coaches take some timeouts. I guess it'd be kind of the equivalent of a TV timeout in football. And
good idea.
Let the guys run over to the sideline, grab a drink of water. So last week when we were talking, well, they should be out of timeouts. Everybody should be out of timeouts.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what part of them were.
That's what's part of them were. And so I actually seen the official right there make the calling there. So we are going to have a quick water break.
I actually think it's a little bit cooler tonight than it was even warmer last week, I think. Not much, but.
Right.
A lot of Doniphan football merchandise available, like stadium seats, rally towels, stadium cups, hammocks, umbrellas.
Well, a little recap here. Max Torres, 15, 17, 21, 26 yards rushing on 9 attempts. And then Kyle Reynolds has 22 on 4 attempts. And that's the offense for the Dons. They're doing a great job moving it here. Hopefully, we can get inside the 20 and try to make something happen here.
Well, for one thing they're doing, they're keeping Thayer's offense off the field right now. And they try to run a reverse, and Mills, nice move, and he's going to get around, and he's going to all the way, 10-5, touchdown.
Attaboy.
Outside.
Yes, they did.
He
cut it right back in.
And the Dons fans are finally get something to celebrate over there.
Where was that ball originally spotted on? Was that the 30-yard line?
It was the 31 or 32,
okay,
somewhere along in there.
Gain of 31 for Mills.
That was a great cut back there because they had him for about probably about a 5-yard loss.
Yep.
And then he just outrun them. They're going to run the old, what they call this play? Where they fake the kick and throw over
and
to
then just,
McGuire Balcom to
yep.
try to get a 2-point conversion. They're not even going to fake it. And going to run it in for 2 points, and that is Jordan White, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, Jordan White.
There was nobody in front of him to block, except the center.
No. .31, so there's a big positive for the Dons.
Well, I do want to apologize to the people that's going to be watching this tomorrow, and hopefully the next home game we'll be able to do this live. They're working on getting the Wi-Fi out here, but I'm not real good at the Dons will kick off, and it looks like Thayer's going to have number 7. Chris Cray back to receive the kickoff. Also back there is number 80, Kyron Magnuson. And that looks like number 2 over on the far side. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. It's getting dark now. Jackson Willison. And Max Torres kicks off and kicks it over, and it's picked up short by number 13, and he's going to bring it back. He caught it about the 40. He's going to bring it back outside the 45. And there comes a flag in late over on the Don sideline. I hope one of the players over on the sideline didn't do something silly.
Right. It wasn't a great kickoff by Torres, but he was running out of time. There's only a second left on the play clock, so he gets it teed up.
Is that the reason he done it?
Yes, he got it teed up and took one step back and just hauled off and kicked it. Most of the time those guys drop back 3, 4, 5 yards and get a little run at it, but Torres looked at the clock and he just kind of had to set it down and take a step back and just kick it.
The official's coming over and going to face us here and tell us what the penalty is. Thayer's coming up to the line, but they haven't even marked any penalty off yet.
Going to be a personal foul.
So that's going to, the ball was at the 50-yard line, so that's going to put it down around the 35. So after such a good drive, the Dons make a mistake, and I'm sure that was probably someone over on the side, or a late hit on the tackle, one or the other.
Right. More than likely, with them being that close to the sideline, I say he probably went out of bounds.
Somebody hit him after
somebody came in and hit him late, right. Even
See, that's something else that the Dons are really going to have to work on. When you score a touchdown, you got to be able to get out there and get the kickoff off before that clock shot, the play clock goes off. Handoff up the middle, number 25, and they had him tied up. By Max Torres to make the tackle. He tripped him up just enough. But they had him right at the line of scrimmage and let him get out of it, and that was number 25, I believe, Jordan Madden. And it doesn't make any difference who they put in there at running back.
Right.
Seems like they can all run it. They got it down to, it looks like about the 12, maybe 13-yard line. So they're already knocking on the door, scoring again. Stone hands it off, and this time stacked up after about a 1 or 2 yard gain. And that's number 30. That is Logan Doss.
That was a group tackle right there by number 25. I think that's McGuire Balcom and number 52. Who's that? Derek Bratchler, 52.
Well, that was a nice play there. Held him a couple yards on that play. 2nd and 8 from about the 11-yard line. Stone under center, takes the snap, hands it off. And a good defensive play there by number 30, Alex Harris, as he met him shoulder to shoulder and pushed him backwards. He did get down to about the 10-yard line, but that was another good stop. That was only about a 1 yard gain. And that's going to make it about a 3rd and 6 or 7. He hit him just like you're supposed to tackle a guy. Hit him shoulder to shoulder and backed him up. 3rd down and about 7, it looks like. Stone hands it off again. And cutting through the middle down to the 5, inside, and they haven't made a signal yet. Now the official over here on the side says he got into the end zone for a touchdown. They made a couple of good plays, but they couldn't stop him on 3rd down. And that makes it, that was Doss again, got the touchdown. I think they've had about 4 different guys score touchdowns, I think, already in this first half. 45-8. It only took about a minute and a half on the clock, too, but that penalty didn't help. And the kick is up and just barely gets across the upright, or the crossbar, excuse me. And that'll make it 46-8. They're going to have to ice Meisler's leg down. He may ask Coach if he can get a relief kicker. 3:07 to go in the first half. And it is 46-8, but folks, we're tickled to death. The Dons had a good drive that last time and done some really good things, and we'll see if they can keep it going here as this time they get the ball. Their problem tonight is they're just having trouble stopping Thayer from scoring.
Right.
And it's going to be Zerwalka back deep again. He'll be flanked by Thompson and Balcom. And that is a different kicker, isn't it? Number 3. And his short kick this time going to be picked up by, that was
Reynolds, isn't it?
Was that, I think it was 45. Those numbers, yeah, it's 45.
45.
That's Zerwalka. He caught that ball on the run. He come in front of Gavin Thompson and
cut
picked
him
it
off.
up.
Yeah.
I don't know where he picked it up. It was around the 30, and he got it back out to the 47. Right. So good field possession again.
Yeah, that wasn't Meiser that kicked that one. Meiser
was number 3, I believe, is what it looked like. That was Cale Willison.
Well, the Dons are going to start out with pretty good field position here with 2:58 left to go in the second. Going to get the ball on about the 46, 47.
Hand off to,
that's Trey Mills.
Trey Mills, and we had number 12 in for the Dons, Hunter Roberts at quarterback on that play. And he stays in on this play. That was about a 2-yard gain for Mills. He goes over to the sideline for this play. 2.5 minutes left in the first half. 46-8. The Thayer Bobcats lead the Dons here at Doniphan. Roberts hands it off right up the middle, and a good run there. It's Alex Harris, and he gets all the way down to about the 35-yard line. And I tell you what, the Dons are having some success running that ball right up the middle. I think I'd abandon that outside stuff until they start stopping that, and then every once in a while I'll throw one of those outside ones in there, and you might get something. That was a nice run
about
there.
A 20-yard gain by Harris.
It'll be first down at the Bobcats' 35-yard line. And Hunter Roberts still in at quarterback. Harris lined up right behind him. And Roberts, did he drop that? Had to fall on it?
Yep.
Oh, no gain on that play. Dons have been getting some positive yards on first down, and that always makes a lot of difference.
I think the Dons are going to call a timeout here.
Minute 51 left in the first half. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Thayer Bobcats 35-yard line. I tell you what, I mean, the Dons are down big here, but boy, if they could get another touchdown before halftime against, in my opinion, what is a way better team than they played last week. They're just running the ball a whole lot better tonight than they did last week. And I don't know if it's because of what they done in practice or because, even tonight, the first couple of drives, they didn't run the ball well.
Right.
And then I don't know if they started blocking better.
And you said it, I think they kind of need to abandon that outside approach and just keep trying to shove it up the middle. They're picking up 7, 8 yards at a time going up the middle, and it seems like that anytime they try to run to the outside or that little misdirection, it just seems like it kind of gets snuffed out pretty quick, and it kind of gets stopped in the backfield.
If you run that play up the middle a few times and then you fake that ball to the guy going up the middle and then try to run it outside, you might come up with something there. Especially somebody with speed like Max or whoever else is in there, even Harris. I mean, Harris has got good speed.
Right.
He's a bull too, but I think Reynolds is in there again, isn't he? And then it lined up right behind. And he dropped the ball again. That's 2 plays in a row. And that's going to put the Dons in a bad situation with about 3rd and 11 now. And Roberts has had trouble with the snap the last 2 times. After the first 3 or 4 plays on this drive, he was fine. And he's going to check out. And Jordan White will be back in, but that's going to make it a little tougher here. They're going to have to get a big gain here if they run the ball to get it. Well, they'll probably go for it with how much time we got left no matter what, but it'd be nice to get a big chunk of it back. Torres comes out wide, and they hand it off up the middle again, and Harris is going to be close. And he
going
just
to be about
runs
a
it
yard
right up
shy.
the pipe, dragging tacklers with him. He looks like he got about 8 of them. So that'll make it manageable here, make it a 4th down and 2. And we'll see if they do the same thing again. Harris is right behind White.
They're going to go quick here, too.
Nope, they did it again, and he's going to get the first down to the 21-yard line.
First down and then some. It looks like about a gain of about 6 there.
He almost lost his footing there. Somebody had their hand around his foot, but he was able to get it up just enough to keep him falling.
Number 30, Harris, the ball carrier.
And the ball at the 20, it looks like they're going to mark it about the 20, maybe 22-yard line.
I think Coach Stout, he's really going to push to try to score here with only a minute left. I believe he's going to burn his last time out right there to go ahead and try to draw something up here to design for a touchdown to try to make it 16, a little bit more manageable. And like you said, a lot of momentum going in at half then if the Dons can score here.
Well, I don't know if they can do it, but it would be nice if they could call like a couple of plays over there and
get them stacked
up
up,
to the
ready
line
to go,
of scrimmage
right.
and get it off quick, the second one, because at the rate they're running it, even if they get 6 or 8 yards a pop, they're going to have a hard time getting it in there in 53 seconds without any timeouts left.
Right. A little bit of recap on this drive. Harris has picked up 14 yards for positive yardage. And then we've got Kyle Reynolds had the 11 and Zerwanka with a 2. So Dons are doing a good job of moving it. Once again, positive things that we like to see. We wanted to see some improvement out of the running game, and here it is. So
they haven't had to throw it because they've been running it well.
Exactly.
Even the third drive, the last 2 drives.
It's going to go to Reynolds.
Hand it off up the middle again and down to about the looks like 16, 17-yard line, and the Dons are going to line up in a hurry. And they must have called more than one play. Down to 40 seconds. Now don't jump offside, fellas. Stay set.
Oh, they're going to run
He tried to spike the ball there to get the clock to stop, and he almost fumbled it. But one of the Dons was there to pick it up. I don't know if they're going to call it incomplete or not. It looks like they moved it back a little bit, so they must have called that incomplete pass.
Well,
maybe the ball was at the 18. I thought it was inside that, but
the only thing about that is I'm not too sure that when Jordan White tried to spike that ball, that Reynolds didn't catch it and then set it down. And that
the clock should have kept running.
The clock should have kept going, exactly.
White rolls out, and he's going to be sacked from behind. And that blind side, if you ever seen the movie Blind Side, that's exactly what it is right there. That quarterback cannot see that guy coming from behind him. And the clock probably going to run out now. And they're going to go back in the huddle, so that clock will run out here probably before. They're going to run one more play, maybe, if they hurry.
6 seconds. Dons
they got to hurry up and do it. 4, 3, 2. They did get it off. White's going to throw it up, and there's not anybody there. And almost intercepted, but that'll be the end of the first half. So kind of a bad ending there to that drive. And again, that spike really cost them there.
Right. And I kind of like to think, though, that had the Dons, had a little bit more time to work with, I think that drive would have turned out a little bit different for them with the way they were moving it.
Because they wouldn't have had to done that. They could have kept running the ball.
They've got a minute left on the clock, and they're trying to do some stuff quickly. to try to get them points on the board quick.
They were definitely the last 3 drives successful running the football. There's no doubt about that. They've just dropped down so far behind that it's kind of put the hurt on them. Well, our halftime score is 46-8, and we're going to take a short break here, and we'll be back shortly with the second half. We're at the Brummett Stadium at Griffin Field in Doniphan, Missouri. The second game of the season here for Doniphan football, reinstated this year after 39 years of not having football. So we'll be back shortly with the second half. It's 46-8 in favor of the Thayer Bobcats.
About the cheerleader dance?
No. We should camera down for a little bit.
Did she tell you if they were doing their? Will you give me my phone down there? Did she tell you if they were doing their routine?
She just said they were going to do something after the band.
Right.
But why? She didn't elaborate.
Whew. Gosh, I wish I wasn't so fat.
Hey, are you guys doing the same thing you did last week? Okay, so I don't need any music for you all. Oh, okay. I don't think so. Jim, there's not anything after band, is there? It's go straight to the cheerleaders?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, he says there's nothing. Yep. Let him clear all the way off, and then he'll announce you, and you guys just come running out after he announces you. Does that sound good? Okay. As soon as band comes off, you think it's good to announce them, they'll come running out. I'm glad I asked, because I'd have played that music, because I just thought they would kind of do the same thing. They're just doing a routine, she said. They're not actually doing their dance.
We get the ball start second half, don't we? They got it first.
Yeah.
DHS High School Marching Band, ladies and gentlemen, and the DHS Flag Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, the DHS cheer squad under the direction of cheer coach Madison Burke will be taking the field.
Thayer out of the water here, though. The radio. Play anything or...
Doesn't look like a band.
Well, we got 2 away games the next 2 weeks? 3. The next 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Surely they'll have the Wi-Fi where we do games live the next time we come.
I emailed the next 2 schools to see if they had anything available.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't heard anything back yet. But for those games, the away games, I'm just planning on bringing a camera. If there's not an internet, I'm bringing the camera and putting everything into the camera. It's just going to be a
Do like we did those games last year and then just replay it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be on the air, though. The away games can go. Boys doing good work down there? I guess we get some good shots.
This is a little different than basketball. I know what I'm doing in basketball.
Well, I'm learning here.
Well, me too. I did a couple of the junior varsity games last year on YouTube, but I've never played football, but I've watched football all my life, and I know pretty much all that's going on. Getting all the names and all that stuff. And basketball, I know, like the Doniphan boys, I learn their faces. If I don't know them from year to year, I learn them just like that, and you don't even have to look at the numbers.
Yeah, you get some of that, you know.
Football, they got the helmets on, you can't see their faces, you know. Besides that, I don't know hardly any of them. I mean, Max is the only one that plays basketball that I know of. There may be some freshmen that's going to play this year, but
I know exactly what you mean.
I've been doing basketball, I guess, for about 20 years now. So
Wow.
if I don't know by now what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I did them over at the Piedmont radio station for about 10 years, and then
Well, that's great.
Anybody have any gum?
Are you guys taking a break? Is that what you're doing? Okay. Yeah.
got some lemon drops, Dalton's all I got.
I like the lemon drops, though, but I'm
No, go
afraid
ahead. They're a little sticky.
I may get my lips puckered up.
You need any of them, just get them. They're in there. I gotta go. I gotta drive home and come back over here about 7:30 in the morning.
Coming over for the parade, or?
My wife, she's a class of '78, and they're riding in the parade
Yeah,
tomorrow.
they're here tonight, aren't they?
Well,
We got a
Cindy Farrell.
loaded up in the car.
Yeah, I was telling Becky Roy, or Becky March over a while ago,
we. Well, no, I was telling Ronnie Smith that he graduated with her.
Okay.
I was telling him, I said, yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. I didn't even know who she was until December, right about a week before Christmas, the year after she graduated. And we got married April 6th.
Wow.
The next year. We'll be married 40 years next April. She was coming tonight, and our son lives in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and they were coming down. My great niece, she's not going to get to go to the reunion because my great niece is getting married tomorrow afternoon, so we're going to that. But she's going to come over in the morning and see some of them. And but she was going to come tonight, but my daughter-in-law is a school teacher, and they wasn't going to leave till after school was out, and they live in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, so it's going to be midnight when they got here. Well, she texted her last night and said that she was taking off at noon. They were going to be here about 8 o'clock, so she did not want to be there when they got home. We got an 8-year-old grandson, so she wanted to be there for that one anyway. So.
I'm going to hop back on at about 3 minutes, and I'm going to go over the first half.
You just go right ahead and do that. I'm going to go get one of my Gatorades. You want one? You got something to drink?
I'm finishing up a soda down here.
Well, Matt said I've got 2 little Gatorades in there. There's some water and Gatorade in there.
Now they've got a banner up over there. I was saying.
Do you follow Cardinals baseball much?
Oh yeah. I never miss a game.
Did you hear?
No, I don't. No, go ahead and tell me.
They rumor has it that Josh Donaldson got pulled from his rehab start tonight, and he's on a plane to St. Louis.
Well, I know that
They were talking
they
about
designate
it.
him for an assignment or something.
Yeah, well, he
Toronto
was at a
did.
rehab start, and they sent him down to Single A, and now rumor has it is he went out, was warming up, and they pulled him, and he's on a flight to St. Louis right now.
Well, I want to tell you what, that'd be a great pickup for him. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Well, do you want to know what the score is of the game right now, or you want to watch it later?
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it when I get home.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. That's what I did last week.
Yeah.
And I can fast forward through the commercials, so it don't last near as long.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I keep up. I never miss a game, man.
Here in the take this off. Here in the last couple days. All right, this is Dalton Pennington, and I'm back here again at Doniphan High School, where the Doniphan Dons are taking on the Thayer Bobcats. I'm going to go ahead and go over some stats with you from the first half. Keith and I were calling the game, and we're trying to look for positive things that the Dons are doing right. And one of those things is we're having a pretty good go at moving the ball on the ground, and we've had some great rushing plays. Tonight, the Dons are down 8-46 right now, getting ready to start the second half. But we've seen a lot of good things. Big run by Trey Mills for a 31-yard gain for a touchdown. Kyle Reynolds has been a big spot for the Dons. He's got 7, 11, 22, 26 yards rushing on the ground. Nolan Zerwanka's got 11 on 2 carries. Alex Harris has been another bright spot for the Dons coming out of that fullback position, moving the ball. Harris had a 20-yard gain on his first carry and then picked up an 8 and a 6 to follow, so that puts him at 34 yards rushing. And another good one is our speedster back, Max Torres, is doing a great job of moving the ball. He's got 21, 26. He's got 26 yards on 9 carries. He did have a fumble in the backfield on kind of a blotched handoff between him and Jordan White, but Max is doing a good job of running the ball as well. As far as defense goes, last week we feel like we had a little better defensive performance last week than we did this week, but the offense is moving better, so hopefully as the Dons keep rolling, they get to where they're progressing on both sides of the field, and they kind of put all that together in one effort. But as far as defense goes, Devlin Cooper has 2 tackles. Hunter Roberts has 1. Alex Harris doing it on both sides of the field, and he's got 3 tackles. Trey Mills has picked up a hit. Eli Burke has 1. Kyle Reynolds has 1. McGuire Baucom has a half. And Derek Brashler had the other half of that pickup from Baucom. Got about 14 seconds here to go.
3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, yep, that's right. We go ahead and we'll, after this time ticks off, we add another 3 minutes, so we'll see what happens here. So we got a little bit of time before we come back, but we do have a lot of good things going. Don's arm moving the ball. We picked up more first downs in the first half than we did last week. That's a bright spot for the Dons. Offensively, like I said, we're having a pretty good time rushing the ball and having better results going up the middle instead of trying to work that on the outside corner. So let's see what, when we come back here, what Coach Stout has, what adjustments he's made at halftime, and see if he's kind of noticed the same thing that we're seeing up here in the box and tries to take it up a little bit up the middle, a little bit more by Alex Harris and Kyle Reynolds seem to be doing a lot of work and a lot of effective work. So let's see if the Dons make that adjustment and kind of start handing it off to their fullbacks a little bit more. As I said, the Dons are down 46-8 here. Got about 2.5 minutes before we kick off the second half. The Dons will receive it. Thayer got it the first half, so the Dons will get the ball in the second half.
Well, the Dons are coming back out on the field, but I think they have to let that time run down, which that to me that's kind of strange. Why don't they just put 18 minutes on the clock
right.
instead of putting 15 and then putting 3 when it runs down? But
well, and even at halftime, we had 15 minutes on the clock. We started it. The officials took off the field and then turned around at 14:36 and wanted us to put 15 minutes back up on the clock again. So I'm not exactly sure why we're doing some of the things we're doing, but it's a learning experience for us. So hopefully we see well, I'm not exactly sure.
Well, we got about 1.5 minutes according to what's on the clock, but both teams are actually back out on the field, and I'm sure they're probably going to let it run down. But you did say the Dons are going to get the ball first. Last 3 drives, they moved the ball real well. Only got 1 touchdown, I think, like you said, right at the end of the half, or right after the half ended. If they would have had another minute or so, I think they might have been able to come away with some points. So what we got to look at is the last few times they had the ball is so much better than the first 3 or 4 times, however many possessions they had. But again, they got to keep it going in the second half, and it's going to be important how they start out here. Not necessarily for winning the ball game, but just trying to get better every time that they have the ball.
And you got to think that was part of Coach Stout's speech at halftime, saying, "Hey guys, we are moving the football. You know, we're going to keep going at it. We're going to stick with kind of what we've got working for us now." And he's going to make a few adjustments, but I think he had a lot of positives that he could have talked about.
Yeah,
at
I'm sure he did, because he talked about the last 2 or 3 times they had the ball, instead of talking what went wrong the first few times they had it, because he's trying to pump them up. He is. So hopefully they'll be able to keep it going here. Yeah, we're just about to get the clock run down here, and again, I don't understand why they run 15 minutes off and then they put 3 minutes back on instead of just putting 18 on there to begin with, which I think 15's plenty anyway, because both teams were back out on the field and they were ready to go when the 15 minutes run down. But it must be a Misha rule that they have to do that. And if that's the way it is, that's what we're going to have to live with.
I mean, it hits 000 on the clock, and the official hands him the football. So
instead of giving it to him where he could get ready.
Get it set up and kick it right off. Nope. Got to give it to him right when that time expires.
Well, we're going to have Nolan Zerwalka back deep again. And he's had a couple pretty good returns. The Dons have had good field position. Even when they weren't moving the ball, they had good field position a couple of times. So Meisler got his leg rested up, kicks it deep. And Zerwalka catches at the 20-yard line, brings it out to the 30. He's hit there, and then he's gang tackled. And his forward progress will be just right at the 30-yard line. So about a 10-yard gain. And I like how he catches that ball out away from his body instead of letting it come in and bouncing off his chest.
Right.
He catches it with his arms extended. And he looks like I don't know if he does, but from here he looks like that football's a tennis ball in his hands.
Right. And just like you said, another thing that he's doing that I haven't seen a lot of our guys do on those kickoffs and the punts, he takes 2 steps behind the ball, and he comes up and meets it, gets his momentum going forward, and that's not something that we've seen a lot of. So I like how Nolan is.
You've seen how many guys it took to bring him down there, about 5 or 6 guys.
Yes.
All right, Jordan White back at quarterback. We got Harris, Torres, and Mills in the backfield. Max Torres gets it and tries to take it to the outside again, and gets stacked up at about the line of scrimmage, maybe lost a half a yard. And the Dons have not had very much luck at that at all.
Ball carrier back to the line of scrimmage, making it 2nd down, 10 to go.
Right now, Reynolds or Walken, neither one is in there. The big fullback, Harris, is in there, and he had some good runs right before the half. So I'm looking to see him get the ball on this handoff right here, because that outside run did not work. So he lines up right behind Jordan White, about 2 yards behind him. Torres in motion, flips it to Torres. Torres fakes the pass, reverse around to Mills, and he's going to be tackled way back there for a big loss. And the trickery didn't work there.
No.
They did make good on the handoff and the pitch that time, but they lost all the way back to the 17-yard line. That's going to be 3rd down and 23. So this drive has not started like the ones at the end of the first half ended. And I think that was very important for them to start that way. They need a good positive play here, even if they end up punting. White drops back, hands it off right up the middle, and again, they got positive yards, but they were just too far behind the chains to get the first down. Ball carried up to about the 22-yard line, about a 5-yard gain. If they would have done that on 2nd and 10,
right,
different
situation there. Who was the one that ran that ball there? Did you?
I think it was Harris, wasn't it?
Harris. Okay.
And the Dons are going to have to punt, and it'll be Reynolds, Kyle Reynolds back to punt. His first punt was a pretty good one.
Kyle Reynolds, number 46.
Hopefully he'll get a good snap. A little bit high, but he catches, gets it off. Good one. Out to about the 50-yard line, and they call for a fair catch. Actually at the 49 of Thayer.
Haven with Thayer.
I think you're going to
That
spot
was
him
Jace
right
Haven
on
with
the
the fair
50.
catch.
Nope. Yep, right on the 50.
Now they spotted on the 50. He actually backed up and caught that, but they spotted right at the 50-yard line. So that was about a 28-yard punt with no return. And as I said, that's not bad. And, if this was an established program and been having these kids kick for years, that might not be quite good enough. But I think anytime you don't have any return yardage on there, that they're probably going to be happy with that. Stone back at quarterback. Hands it off and hitting the backfield, but he breaks a tackle up the middle, gets down to the 30, and he's going to take it all the way. Nope, maybe not. And great hustle there
That's by Caitlin Harris. Nope, that's going to be Gavin Thompson.
He saved a touchdown. They had him stacked up at the line of scrimmage, but he just kept his feet going.
Number 24.
Well, and we talked about Gavin last week being an extreme hustler. He had a play last week where he was the punter, punts it, and ends up making the tackle. You don't see that very often, and there he was right there. Could have very easily gave up, let him have that touchdown there, but instead he hustles over there and catches him at the 1-yard line. So there's another positive for the Dons.
I think last week they done a better job of tackling because they had him tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
But their running backs do a great job of keeping their feet moving.
Right.
And even when they're hit. Stone hands it off and going outside towards the corner, and that's going to be tackled for a loss back at about the 5-yard line. And that was Max Torres with that tackle.
That was number 2.
Was it?
Well, Gavin Thompson again, back-to-back tackles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Torres is what made him cut. Tore right into Thompson there. And another good tackle by Gavin, wraps him up.
That was Dylan Poulette with the carry, and he was tackled back about the 4 or 5-yard line. So a couple-yard loss there for Thayer as the Dons trying to keep him out of the end zone here on Thayer's first possession after the Dons were 3 and out on their first. And way over on the right hash mark. It looks like it's spotted just inside the 5-yard line. Stone hands it off and into the end zone. Meisler almost untouched from 4 yards out. And Thayer scores another touchdown here on their first possession of the third quarter. That makes it 52-8. And have we had the running clock here so far? We're already down to 6:38. They stopped it there, but then maybe they stopped. It seemed like that we do have. Okay. It only stops like when they score. It stops. Huh?
And he's going to miss that one to the right.
Okay. Well, we have the running clock here all the way through the second half. If it's a 35-point lead, is that right? 35.
Yeah.
So the Dons down 52-8. So this second half will definitely go by quicker unless they get back and get within 35 points, less than 35. And we're already down to 6:38. We're almost halfway through this third quarter, and we had two pretty quick possessions there, one by each team. And that, as Dalton said, that kick was wide right. So Meisler's about 50%. I think he's like 3 for 6 on those extra points. And they're going to have Cale Willison kick off this time, number 3. And Zerwalka's back again. I got a feeling he may need to scoot up because when he kicked it a while ago, he kind of squibbed it down the middle if they want him to get his hands on it. And right now, he'd be the one I'd want to get his hands on it if he could. Willison backs up about 5 yards to the 35, runs and kicks it, gets it up in the air. It's short, and a fair catch called by
number 6.
Devlin Cooper, and he should have ran that one.
I think so. I think he had some room to go there. At least 5 or 7, you would like to think that he could have picked up there.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody within at least 5 yards of him. He should have run because it wasn't that high in the air. But the Dons get it at 35, not bad field position, but he could have at least got it to the 40, I think. So the Dons with their second possession here in the third quarter and looking to get back to some positives here. And hopefully they'll get back to running the ball a little better because the last except for the last play on the last drive, they kept going backwards. Looks like we got a different number back there in the backfield. As I said, they turned sideways, hard to see. And we got White going back to pass, and then he has to take off up the middle as he is flushed out of the pocket, and he gets it right back to the line of scrimmage. Number 36 is in the backfield.
I'm not quite sure who that is. Number 36 is
Wyatt Kelly.
Wyatt Kelly.
Wyatt Kelly. And we got a timeout call. I think Coach Stout called that, but I'm not sure. .5:15 to go in the third quarter. Thayer's added another touchdown here in this third quarter, and they've upped their lead to 52-8. And go ahead and talk, Dalton. I got to look something up here if I can find it.
Kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to have to fill that, so I'm sitting here I can't get anything to come to mind. But one little recap, something that we've had, constantly looking for positives. We did have our first tackle for loss on that last drive that Thayer had. Gavin Thompson kind of stuffed one for a 3 or 4 loss in the backfield, and here comes the Dons coming on.
Okay, we're back to play here. I was looking to see for a schedule. Our next game is at Dexter. Is that right? Next week? Do you remember?
I do not remember.
White sprints out to the left side, gets a little bit of a hole, and goes up to about the 39-yard line for about 4. And I think if he'd hit that a little bit harder, a little faster, he could have got a little bit more. I think he was wanting to throw it, but his man must have been covered up downfield. They spotted at the 38, so it's a gain of 3.
6 yards to go for a first down.
I'll have to ask Matt. I'm pretty sure the game's at Dexter next week. I thought I had a schedule with me. I maybe have it in my case. I don't know. Thank you. 3rd down and 7 from the 38-yard line. White throws it out, and it's caught by Zerwanka up at about the 43-yard line. He's going to be a couple yards short of the first down.
Jordan White.
No, I was wrong. It's at Charleston.
Successful pass.
September 10th at Charleston, the following week at Madrid County, and then the next week at Dexter. The next home game is October 1st against Kelly.
3 to go for that first down. Doniphan's going to keep the ball.
Don's going to go for it, and like I said, I think that's a good idea. I mean, you might as well go ahead. They're moving the ball from wherever they get it anyway, so you might as well try to keep your hands on it. They need 3 yards for a first down. Actually, a little long, too. Ball up the middle and still fighting for it. And, boy, it's going to be awfully close. And that was Reynolds.
That was Reynolds again. He's been
I believe they're going to spot him far enough to get it as he got just over the 45, and that yard marker, first down marker, is about 3 inches over that. Right. They got it about a half a yard over it, so it is a first down. So the Dons convert again on 4th down, and Reynolds runs it up the gut, and he was hit just right after he got the ball, and he just drugged those guys with him. He is a big, strong kid.
He's their go-to guy on 4th and short.
What grade is he in?
I believe Reynolds is just a junior. I-8.
He might be in this program here. I don't know, but the one that
I don't think so. I don't think he was on the team when that program was sent off. Okay. I believe he is a junior.
Well, it's 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line of the Dons. White throws it out the left side, and pass is dropped out there by Zerwanka, and he had a little bit of room, and he tried to catch that just like he's been catching the kickoffs out away from him, but it just slipped right through his hand, and White made a good pass that time. They were in the shotgun on first down that time. That's something a little different too.
And Kyle Reynolds actually moved here from Poplar Bluff about 2-3 years ago. I think he started his freshman year at Doniphan, but he grew up in Poplar Bluff. And then came over to Doniphan.
So he probably played some junior high football.
Yes, he played some junior high football over there.
2nd and 10. White in the shotgun again. Man in motion is Zerwanka. Rolls out to the right. Throws it down the field, and a pass broken up there by number 13. Landry Pitts of the Bobcats. That pass was intended for
number 17, Alonzo Rios. We only have 4 seniors on the team, so a pretty young squad, all things considered.
Well, no matter what happens this year, the juniors are going to have one more year to play, and then those freshmen and sophomores getting all that valuable experience. In the shotgun again, White sets up the pass, throws it down the field, and it's caught by Zerwanka. And he gets down and he fumbles it to the 20-yard line, fumbled ahead, but it's picked up there by
number 17, Rios. That ball was caught by
that was a perfect pass from Jordan White. Yes. He hit Zerwanka in stride.
Yep.
And that, let's see, 45 down to the 20. That's about a 35-yard gain, actually 36. It's inside the 20-yard line. Well, the Dons threatening here with, clock's almost run out here in the third quarter. Boy, it don't take long when that clock's running.
When that clock doesn't turn off, it doesn't take long at all.
Looks like it's about the 18, 19-yard line. And White's going to line up in the shotgun again. That's 3 passes in a row on this drive. After getting the 4th down, and I think, you know what that looked like? It looked like that is Gettings the center?
Yes.
Looked like he hit his rump when he hiked that ball, and it just made it about halfway back to White because he had to fall on it.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't anybody in between them, and he come up short unless he just short-armed it. Was that penalty offside?
Yeah, that's going to be maybe Gettings took a hit there.
Well, that might be why.
Yeah, that might be why he didn't get into the backfield. That's exactly right.
His own rear end.
Yeah, so it's going to be 1st and 5 now, with the Dons inside the 20, threatening to score here. Only 18 seconds on the clock left, though.
White takes the snap. Oh, and boy, he gets hammered at the 10-yard line, and that one hurt a little bit.
Yeah, he's slow to get up here. That was a shot right there.
Yeah, he got hit up high, and walk it off. He'll have to come out of the game, I think, for at least one play.
Yes.
He's made the tackle? Pitts.
He made the hit.
Okay. Landry Pitts is the one that made the hit on. Let's see, did we have Hunter Roberts come in at quarterback? Yep, he's in at quarterback. And I think it is second down, and it looks like about 2 from here. Roberts in the shotgun. He's going to run the same play. He's going to get down to the 10, and I think we may have another block in the back on number 17, Rios, I think. And that is going to push the Dons back, I'm almost sure. Holding. They're going to call a hold. And that's what happens when you run that play outside. A lot of times that wide receiver gets in there and gets caught holding or blocking in the back. And that's going to hurt because it was 2nd and 2. Would have been 3rd and 1 or 2. Well, actually, they spotted it at the 8-yard line. That probably would have been a first down.
Yep.
But now they're going to have to run it back 10 yards, and it's going to be – it's third. It'll be 3rd down, right,
yes.
after this play. Well, no, it'll be 2nd again if they take the penalty. And they're going to take it because that's first down, I think.
Yeah, so they are going to take that.
You know, I was wondering the other day, we may have talked about this with the officials. When they call the penalties, they're looking over here to the press box at us, and we're on the opposite sides of the fans.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I mean, if the press box was on the same side, then everybody could see it,
Right.
But they have to do it to the press box so that everybody, the coaches and the clock keeper and all that will know what the call was. But well, that's the end of the quarter as well. I didn't even notice that. So that was a quick quarter. The only touchdown that quarter, Thayer got one and added 6 points to their lead. It's 52-8 as we start the 4th quarter. And I believe the Dons will have the ball at about the 18-yard line, and it should be 2nd down and 10, I believe. We'll wait and see where they mark it, but they had the ball sitting on the 8-yard line, and that's about where the first down marker was.
And we're going to be a little bit slow getting started here. We're waiting for the chain gang. Flip sides. They're coming down the far side away from us. So we got to let them get set up, spot the ball.
Yeah, they still haven't walked it off yet, but
right.
I'm guessing the ball is going to be at the 18-yard line. That's about where they spotted it, isn't it?
18, 19, yeah, maybe right in between.
And that should be back about the original line of scrimmage. So I think it'll be 2nd down and 10. Scoreboard says 12, but I think they're on the 18-yard line, and it looks like it's straight across the chain. Hunter Roberts takes off down the right side, run the same play again. He gets hit, gets away from him, picks up a couple of yards down to about the 15-yard line. And Hunter Roberts, Jordan White still not back in the ball game after getting his bell rung pretty good there by Pitts. And they mark it at the 15-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down and about 6 or 7 yards. And we'll see if they bring one of the big bruisers in the backfield. Looks like Harris is in there. Roberts got to hang on to that ball. He's fumbled a couple of snaps earlier. He's in the shotgun again. And he's going to run it up the middle himself. Gets down close to the 10, about the 12 probably. You think maybe Coach Stout's just working on something different here? Because they've lined up in the shotgun, I think, every play on that after they went for it on 4th down. They've lined up in the shotgun every play.
Right.
Even though they've run it a few times. Well, about every time.
Yeah, normally when we see the Dons go out of the shotgun, especially when White's in at quarterback, that means a pass is coming. They're trying to give White a little bit of time, let his receivers get a little deep so he can have an open pass. But that's not the case when he's got Roberts in there. He's going to line up under center this time.
Well, 4th and 4, they're going for it again. They're going to hand it to Harrison. He takes it up the middle. I don't think he ever went down there. They called him down. I don't know if he made it or not. You think he did? It looked like he landed on top of the Thayer player. It didn't look like his knee ever hit down.
They're going to give it to him.
They're going to
give him that first down. So it's going to be a gain about 4 for Harris.
That's at least 4 fourth down conversions for first down tonight.
Well, I think it's 3. I think Reynolds has 2 for the Dons, and then that's Harris right there. Unless Harris has another one, then that would make it 4. I'd like to see him go to him here again. Got it inside the 10.
Roberts hands it to him up the middle, and this time he's going to be hit about the line of scrimmage, and Thayer really going to the ball in groves there to bring. They know that they have to with those big fullbacks to do that.
It's taken 4 guys to bring Harris down, and
he lost about a yard on that play.
And he's going to swap places here. Harris is going to come out, and Kyle Reynolds is going to come in for the Dons.
Got 9.5 minutes left in the game. It's 52-8. Like to see the Dons get another touchdown on the board. Get into double figures. I mean, that don't sound like much, but it would be an accomplishment. Roberts fakes the handoff, or he does give it, to Reynolds. He almost drug Roberts with him when he took it. And he gets it down, looks like to about the 5 or 6 yard line. I think it's right on the 5. So it is going to be 3rd down and goal. They got 2 chances to run it in from the 5 here.
Right.
And we got Zerwanka in there. And Zerwanka and Reynolds. Reynolds is right behind Roberts. You got 4 wideouts here. They handed it to him up the middle, and he's going to pound his way down towards the end zone. And I think he got in. He did.
Yep.
Touchdown. And hopefully the defense will get a little stiffer next week. And that makes it 52-14, and Don's line up this time. Let's see if they actually kick it this time or if they throw that. I forgot what he called that play, where they throw it out to Balkum. They got all the linemen out to the left side here, and Balkum is standing right behind them. White's back in, isn't he? And they're going to pitch it. And Zerwanka's going to get hit, and it takes about 4 guys to get him down, but he doesn't make it. And that was a decoy over here on this side, and they run the option play. But it still took 4 guys to get him down. Well, the Dons get their second touchdown, something for the fans to cheer about. And it's 52-14 with 8:34 left in the 4th quarter. As I said, this schedule they gave me here, it doesn't say, but Matt said the next 3 games are on the road. So next week we'll be at Charleston, September 10th. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, these dates are wrong. They got Thayer on September 4th. Am I looking at the right one? Oh, that's the junior varsity. I'm sorry.
Yeah, flip over there. You go.
I'm sorry. We're still at Charleston next week. Yep. September 7th at Charleston. The 16th at New Madrid County Central, the 21st at Dexter. The next home game will be September 28th against Kelly, and they are just starting their football program too, I think.
Very young, yes.
I'm not sure if this is the first year, but I know they haven't had it for very long if they've had it, if this is not the first year.
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they've had it for a couple years because, if I'm not mistaken, when we were kind of trying to do some of our planning, especially for that big night, big crowd, how do we handle that? I believe Kelly is the school they called, hey, how did you guys handle this situation? When we asked some questions. So I believe Kelly was who we used. So they have played a couple seasons of varsity football, and we're going to re-tee that one up and kick it off as Max comes out of there, and the ball goes about a yard.
That's going to be Thayer's ball right there. Oh, what's the penalty for? Because it didn't go 10 yards, but if Doniphan touches it, don't they have the option of taking the ball right there?
Yep.
He whiffed on that kick's what he done. I mean, he kicked it, just barely got a piece of it. And if they get to re-kick it, that's going to be a big break for the Dons. I didn't know that. I thought they could take it because it didn't go 10 yards, because if it's an onside kick, it's got to go 10 yards before they can touch it. I know it's illegal touching, but I would think the defense would have the option there, but Dons actually catch a break on that.
Right.
They just move it back 5 yards, and Max will try to get a better one off here.
Right. I thought that's what happened, but I wasn't exactly sure. Like I said, kind of inexperienced. Not a bad kick. See if he gets the bounce.
Picked up by number 7. Takes it over to the left side, weaves in and out of traffic, and he's going to get it back across the 50-yard line. That is Chris Cray. And we'll see if Thayer brings out their first string here in the fourth quarter with 7:55 to go. Looks like we're going to have some new kids out there, as Aiden Stone, his night is through, and that was a pretty good one. Didn't throw too many passes, but he didn't have to. Let's see who. Looks like number 13 is going to be in at quarterback. That is Landry Pitts. And they have the ball at the 48-yard line of the Dons after that return. Ball handed off to that number 22. And good defense there by the Dons as they stack it up after about a yard gain.
That was Max Torres on that initial hit. Had some help come in, but Torres was the first hit.
Griffin Willison. Boy, I tell you what, they've got like 4 Willisons on this team.
It's going to be about a gain of 2, but that tackle is going to go to Max Torres. That's going to be his first one of the night.
6:52 to go in the ball game. Dons trail 52-14. Handoff to number 2 this time, and that is Jackson Willison.
In for the tackle, number 30.
Willison's all over the field out there.
Yeah.
And he only got about a yard on that one.
And you mentioned Pitts came in as quarterback, and Pitts is the one that put the hard hit down here on the end on Jordan White just a little bit ago.
It was good to see Jordan back in there.
Yes,
on that,
and Jordan was back in there.
Well,
and he did hop up and walk off on his own, didn't need any help, but that was a vicious hit by Pitts, just squared up, and just a good old-fashioned hard hit for him.
3rd down and 7 for the Bobcats. Don's trying to get the ball back at least one more time before this game's over. Pass down to the 40-yard line to number 7, and that's going to be awfully close to the first down. It may be just, nope, they're going to say it's 4th down, but it's just really close. Now the Dons need to just get everybody up on the line right here because they're going to try to run for that first down. He looks like he's about, maybe a yard short? Maybe not even a yard.
Maybe not even a yard,
Fourth down, they're going to go for it. Down and get the ball back one more time. Handoff, and they're going to get the first down as Jackson Willison's going to get it inside the 35. And that will keep it for at least 4 more downs. Ball marked at the about the 33-yard line. And now a water break or timeout 1 called. I don't know which here. It's nice out here right now, Dalton. That
very nice.
Wind blowing through our hole here in front of us a little bit.
Oh, when we were setting up, I got pretty miserable. We're sitting in our booth. We're not quite finished yet, so we've got an open front, and we're kind of sitting in a metal box, and the sun just seemed like it was shining right in our face, just beating down on us. And I thought tonight was going to be miserable, but it actually kind of cooled off, got a little bit of a breeze going.
Well, it's a good thing the windows are not in, because if we don't have air conditioning in here, it's really going to be hot.
That's exactly right. And well, that's why we've actually waited on not installing the windows in this front piece.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, until everything gets here.
We might need them before the season's over, though.
Yeah,
I don't know. You never know.
We may need a heater instead of an air conditioner, especially if we get a kind of a drizzly night when it cools off in October.
By the time the game's over, sometimes it might get pretty cool before the season's over.
Right.
I think the last regular season game is October 19th. That game is also here against Scott City. 3 of the last 4 games of the season are at home.
Right.
First and 10. 5:12 to go in the ball game. Pitts hands it off to Wilson again, and he's stacked up about the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about Did he get that far?
Wilson, the ball carrier
Well, he
for
gained
the
about
Bobcats.
5 yards on that. That didn't look like he got that much, did it?
Players.
Clock says 2nd and 6, so we'll go with that. I do think Coach Stout has used a few more players tonight. Run in a few more players in and out.
Right.
Pitts hands it off again. Willison's going to carry it again, and we got a flag down. And that's probably on the offense, I would say. I think it was thrown by the referee in the backfield. Illegal procedure.
Illegal procedure against
Well, that'll
Thayer.
move it back to where it'll be about 2nd and 10 or 11. I guess the clock stops on penalties, too. Moves it back to the 35-yard line, so it'll be about 2nd and 10. Definitely got a lot more positives to talk about tonight than we did last week.
Most definitely.
Against, I think, a better team than
Yes.
they played last week as well. So if we just keep building on that every week and getting a little better and a little better, I think that's all you can hope for this first year. Of course, we want to win. Everybody wants to win.
Right,
But
most definitely.
Pitts flips it back in the backfield, and that's going to be Willison again, and he's getting his share of carries right now. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds about the 30-yard line.
Number 2, Wilson, the ball carrier, tackled by Thompson, number 2.
3rd down and 6.
And keep in mind we've got that running clock in the second half because the Dons are down by 35, and it's almost it seems like it's just gone by super quick. Here we are with only 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the ball game, and it seems like we just started the second half.
Yeah, we've only been playing this second half about 35 or 40 minutes.
Right.
About 35, I think. Pitts hands it off up the middle, and good defensive play there by Zerwanka.
Yep, Zerwanka.
And he stops the runner before the first down, actually about 3 or 4 yards short of the first down. And it's going to bring up a 4th and 4. I'd like to see him stop him here and get the ball back one more time, just to, even if they don't get it all the way down, just to run a few more plays.
Right.
At this point in the season, I mean, early in the season,
Getting those
want to
reps
get
in.
all,
Yep.
yeah, that's right, get
Yep.
all the reps you can.
That's going to be the second tackle for loss for the Dons. That one comes at the hands of Zerwanka, as you said.
They're going to get, it's going to be 4th and 6. They're going to go for it. And Pitts will be under center. Turns around, fakes the handoff, is going to pass it, and his man is open. And I think his man pushed off there, and the official did not see that because Gavin Thompson was laying on the ground. He's actually bending over there a little bit right now. I think he just went down and pushed him with his hands, but the official didn't see it. But that's going to get him the first down, so that will probably just about do it with 2.5 minutes to go here.
Did you
Get a
catch who
new
made
set
the
of
tackle
downs.
on that one?
Huh?
Did you catch who made the tackle there?
I think it was a single digit, so it was probably Max Torres because Thompson
Okay.
was down on the ground.
Okay.
He definitely got pushed down. Number 18 made the catch there. That was Lane Grimes. And Willison gets the handoff again, and he's going to take it just inside the 20-yard line. And we're down to 2 minutes. Going to take about 45 seconds off the clock for that one play. So we'll probably wrap things up here pretty quick after the game. So your thoughts on the game tonight? I mean, we've definitely seen a lot better things than we did last week.
Most definitely. You know, we've talked about what we're going to look for the positive, and they're getting better. And as you said earlier, against a much better ball club out of the Thayer Bobcats than we saw last week out of Kabul. Not that Kabul was a bad team, but Thayer, year in and year out, is a much better program. And so we saw improvement from week 1 to week 2, so hopefully week 2 to week 3 we see improvement, and that ball's going to be down on the dirt and the backfield, but Thayer is going to recover it with 1:18 left to go. But I think defensively we've got some stuff we still need to work on. Thayer kind of threw a couple different things at us offensively than we saw last week. For example, Kabul relied heavily on the run, just a lot like we do. But Thayer's not afraid to pull up and pass just anywhere. You know, they'll pass on 1st down, 3rd down. Doesn't really matter. They'll just kind of throw it whenever. So that's a little bit of a different defensive scheme that the Dons have to prepare for. Once again, down to 48 seconds left. But we had a lot of good things, a lot of positives, and I think the leaps and bounds improvements that we made offensively needs to be our takeaway coming into week 3 practice.
Well, I think, too, this may sound kind of silly, but I think after the Dons started moving the ball on offense, their defense played better.
Right.
Because they were down 39-0 before they scored.
Correct.
And they've only scored 13 points since then.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know how that works that way, but it seemed like after they got going a little bit on offense, their defensive players that don't play offense got to rest a little bit for one thing.
Right.
But their defense definitely played better. He was run out of bounds, and they're going to let the clock run out. And our final score is going to be 52-14 in favor of the Thayer Bobcats. So the Dons going to drop to 0-2, but a lot of positive things to take out of this game tonight, heading into the game next Friday night at Charleston. And as far as I know right now, we'll be there to bring that game to you. We don't know. There's a possibility, Matt said, if they've got Wi-Fi, that the game might even be live. But if not, you'll be able to catch it on Saturday morning, or probably Saturday morning, against the Charleston Blue Jays. So the final score is 52-14. And Dalton, you got anything you want to add before we leave here?
Yeah, I'll throw out some quick stats. Dons defensively, I'm going to give you kind of their top performers on defense. They were kind of led by Gavin Thompson. He's going to pick up 2, 4, 5, 6 total tackles, one of those being for a big loss right there at the end of the fourth quarter. Alex Harris also had 4 of his own, and there were several other tackles made by the Dons. But flipping over offensively, where we kind of saw our improvements, the things that we wanted to do, move the ball better, we saw that. Specifically out of Alex Harris and Kyle, with the addition of Kyle Reynolds. Harris is going to finish with 28, 34, 39, 43 yards total, and Reynolds is going to have 7, 11, 22, 26, 29, 31, 36 with a touchdown. So we wanted to see the Dons improve offensively, and we did that. We moved the ball a little bit better. That addition of Kyle Reynolds has been a big plus for us. So I look forward with another week worth of practice what the Dons can put together.
Well, they're definitely, like you said, leaps and bounds difference than last week. So that's going to wrap it up for us here tonight. 52-14 is our final. Be sure to join us next week from Charleston, Missouri, as the Dons travel down to take on the Blue Jays in the 3rd game of the season. This is Keith Bowman for Dalton Pennington. Good night, everybody.